The purpose of today's ride, apart from the fact it's my birthday, is to try and get a solution to using a microphone while riding. The problem is there are very few places in this helmet to stick a microphone. So it's got the lavalier in there now, which is probably absolutely impossible to see. It's actually on the edge of this cheek pad, but it's where to put the sender unit. And there's a little that can go into the road as such, and then using the little clip, it can sit on the bottom of the helmet, which is okay. All right, it's worked, but the sound quality is still crap. The receiver is on the media mod on the GoPro, plugged in, and it's receiving okay, but as you'll hear in the video, the sound quality is rubbish. Now, it's either got to do with the fact that the microphone doesn't have, the lavalier doesn't have much of a dead cat on it, it's just got a little bit of rubber, or it's too close to my face, or there's too much of an echo, or there's too much wind. A lot of people have come up with different solutions. There are various different microphones to use. Maybe I need to use a different microphone. These are not exactly cheap for anybody that knows the Rode system. They're not cheap. And it's becoming its own little pain in the neck. Now, since I've put the new speakers in the helmet, there are sound interference issues. So I'm beginning to think that's the app. Now, I have to tell you that the Wireless Go is a fantastic piece of kit. So as you've just heard, just using the iPhone microphone it doesn't give the same quality of sound at all. So having this on your shirt or wherever it is and forgetting about it is the way to go. But obviously, it's not the way to go for either of the GoPros. Having now got, because this one gives me a massive amount of trouble when it's in the media mod. And I'm just beginning to wonder if it's the media mod. But if I'm not going to be using the media mod for additional sound, apart from the fact that the microphone for the media mod is much better quality, it's a lot of money for absolutely not much. So I think the Hero 9 is on its way out, so I've now got a Hero 11. The quality of the video for the Hero 11 is superb, as you'll see. But the problem with all of this is nothing seems to want to work together. So I've got the dead cat on the Rode Go, but it's useless. All you need to do is put it on the t-shirt and walk around, and it's absolutely useless. So I have invested in some super glue because I just cannot think of another way to keep this in. I've tried a bit of sticky, that didn't work either. So I'm going to super glue it in place, which means that I cannot use this sender unit on the helmet because I can't have a dead cat on it. It's not going to work either. Any ideas? Any assistance? Anyway, the video itself is a trip from home up to Hahndorf in the Adelaide Hills, which is a great tourist spot, very well known. And it's a good ride, great quality footage, lunch at one of the many, many, many places to eat, and then a twisty ride home. Had a lot of fun. pretty windy, but I remember from the last time I tried to use the microphone that even though it was windy in my ears, it wasn't windy on the microphone. So we'll give it a go. And hope that at least one camera does some recording. And given that it's my birthday today, we've decided to take a run to the old town of Hahndorf. Which has a lot of German influence. And it's a big tourist town, which of course has its negatives for those who live there and those of us who live in South Australia as well. Because there's always a lot of tourists in town. However, taking the scenic route to Macclesfield. Trying to talk to you guys, of course. Trying to talk to the world whilst navigating these beautiful corners. It's one thing that's really hard to find in Australia. Are the corners. In my previous video I talked about road positioning, keeping to the left on a right hand corner and the right on a left hand corner, so that when you go around that corner you've got a better view of what's ahead. What you're looking for is the vanishing point to see whether the corner is tightening or opening up. And that's the sad part of riding beautiful roads in the country, with some of the very few reasonable twisties in South Australia. You get stuck behind a horse or a truck or a slow moving caravan or similar. Some beautiful little towns, and a lot of little towns with really nice coffee stops. The only issue is, from where we live, they're quite a distance to travel to, just to start the ride. And here we have yet more fun, this time behind cows. This is part of the problem when you're living in rural South Australia and you're on a motorcycle. Speedy days on twisties are difficult to find, especially during the week, when of course the farmers are doing what everyone else is doing, working. Still, it's a glorious day. It's colder in the hills than where we live. It's a good 2 to 3 degrees cooler. When we left, it must have been around about 22 degrees, and it's considerably colder than that up here. You can definitely feel a difference, but it's worth it for the scenery. You get past one hurdle and the next one is just around the corner. We're just coming out of winter in South Australia, where the temperatures are really cool. You wouldn't believe that Australia has so many different climates. Extreme heat in the north, in the Northern Territory, north of Queensland, Western Australia, and real cold in Tasmania and South Australia. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. So we're at the German Arms. We're at the German Arms. Farmer Chris and I have ridden here via Strathalbyn, which was a pain in the neck having to come that way, but it was the only way to get onto decent road. And then we got stuck behind a horse trailer. So we're at the German Arms, wading through the giant menu of meaty items. But the good thing about the German Arms is that they have a reasonable plant-based and vegetarian option. And unfortunately, because we're on motorbikes, I certainly won't be enjoying any alcohol. But as I got a super bottle of bubbly for my birthday from Farmer Chris, I'll have that later. So it's coffee for me and a vegan burger. And they're doing some renovations in the German Arms. It's like they're extending the whole of the side and the back of the building. So it's a great venue. It's well known for tourism, but it's also well known for the locals to come and have a celebration. Okay, Farmer Chris, what on this giant menu of meaty items are you going to be having?
Well, I don't know. It could be a Big Daddy Schnitzel, a kilo of chicken breast schnitzel, with chips and salad and sauce. It could be a hock platter. That's only $75, but it isn't. I think I'm gonna have. I'm gonna have the roast, pork roast.
As you can see, even coming out of winter, we're in spring now. But Hahndorf, very busy, 7 days a week. There are lots of restaurants down there, lots of incoming tourists, lots of visitors, and lots of locals who at some points in time must wish they've never purchased there. But the amount of traffic and just the sheer number of people. So we stopped in at the chocolate shop so Farmer Chris could buy some chocolate, which is now sitting in the Krieger bag on my back seat in full sun. So we'll see. They put additives in chocolate in Australia to help increase the melting point, give it a higher melting point, in the hope that you can get your chocolate home and in the fridge before it totally wipes itself out. So this is a really nice ride as well, the way we're going back. So we'll not go right to Mount Barker, we'll go left towards Nairn and then follow the road around the twisties to Murray Bridge, back up onto the freeway towards Tailem Bend. I absolutely love this bike. So this is not the fastest bike I've ever owned. Probably that medal goes to the R1s, possibly the MT-09, but I'd say the R1s. However, the speed limit in Australia, as you can see, 40 kilometers an hour in certain towns, really busy towns, 50 kilometers an hour in a lot of the majority of the rest of the towns, 60 sometimes on the outskirts. So this is the outskirts of Mount Barker, so it's classed as effectively non-residential, so non-residential, 60 kilometers an hour. And then it tips between 80 kilometers an hour and 110 in South Australia. Victoria seems to have a upper speed limit of 100 kilometers an hour, which isn't very fast. But you just never know what you're going to come across as you go around a bend and what the speed limit would be. So having a fast bike is a waste of time. And the condition of the roads as well in South Australia are dire. They truly are. And I'm sure a lot of that as well is a speed controller. It's either that or they just don't know how to make roads. And for some of the roads, you definitely think they don't know how to make the roads. There's the condition of the patches and the uneven surface that's desperate. It's desperate to ride on. Which means that you've got a fast bike on what should be a fast corner. The road surface lets you down pretty much every time.